What's up, fellow glass friends? This is Daisy of Daisy Ring Art, and in today's video I'm going to be doing some real-time edge soldering. I'm actually going to solder the edge of this entire piece with no editing other than just a bit of zooming in here and there. So I touched on this in my soldering for beginners video, but the reason I wanted to make this video is because I know that this step seems to be pretty problematic for a lot of people, especially beginners. So I thought by doing this in real time, it would allow you to see how long I pause and how slight the rotations are, and how I go about doing things like smoothing areas and filling in holes at the joints. There's just a lot to see in doing this, and I think this is probably going to be helpful. Now, I'm not perfect at this. I'm not perfect at anything I do on this channel, but I thought this could be helpful for anyone who's struggling big time with this. I'm not going to talk this entire video, but I will tell you that my iron is at 410 degrees per usual, and I'm using Canfield 6040 solder. The goal is to drop as much solder on the ledge as possible without it spilling over, because this is what's going to create a rounded bead that looks great and supports the structure a little bit. So for now, I'm going to stop talking and just let you watch, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. One thing I think is worth noting is when you go to lay the solder down on the edge, be ever so gentle. And when you lift up your iron off of that solder, be ever so gentle there as well. So gentle down and gentle up. Here it was time to take a break and clean the tip of my iron, and I also ran just a little bit more flux, just what was already on the brush, along the remaining copper foil that was exposed. Patience is so important when you're doing this, especially when you're working with these pieces that have a lot of curves and directional shifts and things like that. And the reason I just wanted to show you this whole thing is because every curve, every line, it's a different scenario and it's a learning experience. So hopefully you're not too bored. Does anyone else find this to be really relaxing to watch? I'm watching this to do the voiceover and I feel like I could fall asleep. My heart rate, I think, is like at an all-time low. Here I have a lump that just doesn't want to smooth into the rest of the solder on this line, so I'm just going to take a tiny bit of flux and brush it over top of there, and that usually does the trick and makes it kind of all bleed into each other into a smooth, shiny line. Did you see that? Okay, this is why you have to wear gloves, because so that solder bead that came over the side, it still burnt me through my glove. You could tell I was squirming a little bit. About half of this video is me pausing to make sure that my solder's hardened up a little bit before I rotate any. So I know that can make for a pretty long video, but I feel like that's something that you don't see very often when people are teaching this. Here we are in the home stretch. So I've completed the edge, but what I'm doing now is I'm looking at the front and the back of the piece, because sometimes when we bead the edge of a piece, it can create the little holes, like a little discrepancy at the joints. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna touch them with a little bit of flux, and then I'm gonna just touch my iron to them just to smooth them back out just a little bit. And here we have our finished lemons all cleaned up and looking pretty. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.